Good morning. Here's the disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. Here we go. Let's see what I think the market's going to do today. Starting off with the Qs. Right off the bat, the 5MA is at 621 about. So that's what we want to be over today to be bullish, to stay bullish. My levels, I want to stay between these blue 618 to 619.30. I want to use that as support. And like I said, I want to be above 621 today. But my target here is 622, about 40. I'd like to go to this blue line. All right, let's head to SPY. SPY upper target today is 689.35. That's going to be about this line. That seems right. You're going to need to break through these resistance, obviously. That's your mid 687.15. We're already above that. And your lower is 684.60. So that's going to be let's see here. 684.60 is going to be this area here. From Wednesday? No. Tuesday. That's a long drop. Maybe today. I have to see how it goes. Have to see if we get over the 5MA or if we get rejected there. That's going to tell the story. Your story is going to be right here at 688. Got to get above 688 on SPY. On Q, it's 621. 621 and change. All right, let's go straight to the stocks that you guys have been asking about. I'm going to try to do this rather quickly. See if I can do it. Starting with NVIDIA. Let's go out to the daily. Looks good. Moving up nicely. Closed below the 5MA yesterday. But you're above the 50. You're above support here. Should be bullish. Yeah, this 50 looks like it wants to come up. Today's going to be a big day. See how you're below that mid Bollinger? And these Bollingers are pinching. I call it pinching when they come in like this. You'd like to be above that mid Bollinger because when they start pinching, that means a move is coming. And if you're above that mid Bollinger, then the move is most likely going to shoot you up. See how the Bollingers were pinching here? Well, you got above the mid here. So this is looking good, but you need above 188.90. So we'll say 189. Your support is going to your support overall is going to be here at 181. Call it 181. Your resistance is going to be up here at 192. And that's your range. You'd like to get above 192. You don't want to break 170. All right. I'm not in NVIDIA. Nothing against NVIDIA. I just don't like. I'd rather be in other sectors. I'll just say that. SIDU. I don't know this. Oh, City of Space. Yes, I do know this. Okay. Big spike, but see, you get these big spikes. Can this be sustained? That's the question. Sure looks like it wants to keep going up for a bit. You've got a gap here that you're probably going to want to close to 450. So that would be my target here. I would overall, does this have a weekly chart? Yeah, that's just been beaten down. And you're already over the peak RSI. Yeah, I don't know if this is something that I'd hold. I don't know if this has a future. It needs to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could get 5 coming out of here, and then you'll probably get 5 getting you to 450, 460, and then you'll pull back. Hopefully you get this 50 over this 200, which you've had back here. And I think you probably get that. And then after you hit that, that's when the rubber meets the road, because this is going to have a pullback, and it's going to need to be 3 waves, and it's going to need to stay above 86 cents. Wow, that's really low. I wouldn't want to see this again. I wouldn't want to see that 50 cross back under that 200. Yeah, I would be very cautious of this. This needs to stay above 60.628, 0.63, we'll call it. It really needs to stay above that. If it breaks that, it's just going to go to 0, go to nothing. But it's building 5 waves. It's got to hit this new high. It's got to hit 450, 460. And then it's got to pull back in 3 and then build again. Okay. NAC. Canadian miner. I have an ultimate target of around 12 for NAC. But, I mean, that could be 20 years from now, 10 years from now. I don't know. Time is not my worry. Clearly, we're in a downtrend here. This looks like a big cup, and that looks like 3. That looks like our handle. Hopefully, we hold support here at 190. This looked good until a couple days ago. 2 days ago, this lost the 5. So now it's going to, once you break that mid Bollinger, the way the Bollingers work, let me explain this a little bit. You bounce between Bollingers. So you go from the upper to the mid to the lower. Then you go from the lower to the mid to the upper. So we've gone from the upper. Now we've broken the mid. So most likely we're going to touch the lower. That's about 190. So it doesn't look like 2 is going to hold. It'll be 190, and then you'll get a reaction from there. Yeah, you'll get a reaction at 190. See where we go. I think we go down more. I think miners and silvers, well, I don't really think, I think they're going to spike and, well, silver. I think silver's going to spike and drop and spike and drop and spike and drop. The miners, I think, are getting sold. I don't know if they're selling miners and buying silver physical. That would make sense to me. It would also make sense to do the opposite, sell silver and buy the miners. I don't know, but yeah, the miners have peaked. Their cycle is over for a little bit. But yeah, we'll see what this does at 190. This upper Bollinger is turned. So we'll see. Your RSI is probably going to go down to 40s or 30s. Have you broken? No, you haven't broken 50 yet, but you will probably. Yeah. Let's see what NAC does at 190. Overall, I'm bullish on NAC. Very bullish on NAC. We'll probably come down and retouch this 200 sometime. 135. That'd be nice. That'd be like another gift. Let's see what's NAC's doing in that. Oh yeah, look at that. Ooh. We're gonna get a shot in one direction or the other today. Silver's probably spiking again, isn't it? Let's check. Yep. It had that turnaround on the hourly. Yeah, yesterday. Look at that 50. That's turning up. See, that was your peak. You didn't have any divergence. So you're probably going to break that with a lower RSI. If you break that with a higher RSI, then you're going to keep going higher. And this is kind of what I thought silver was doing. It was in the process of topping, and it doesn't top nicely. It's going to 3, and it's probably going to 3 up here, and then 3 down, and then 3 up, and 3 down. It's going to be all over the place. But I got out of a lot of positions yesterday. And I don't feel bad about it. I made a bundle. Yeah, if this is going to swing, I wonder if the miners are going to swing. That's weird. We're going to look at Hecla. Yeah, let's look at Hecla now. Let's see what Hecla's going to do. Hecla looks like it wants to go up again. I have sells in the 20s for Hecla. Oh yeah, this looks like it's totally going to bounce again. Probably see where your RSI was back here. So you have negative divergence. Yeah, big time. So this was probably your, that doesn't matter. This was probably your 3. This is an extended 5, which means it's going to collapse all the way back down to $12 probably eventually. Yeah, you're below the 5 MA. Yeah, I did a good job selling Hecla the other day. All right, I'm not sad about that. Selling it in the 20s. If it gets up there again, I'll sell it again. This is, see this gap between the 200 and the 50? I don't care how bullish you are on something, that gap's not going to stay that way forever. It's going to close. And then it's going to widen again. But I'm here for the closing. All right. I took way too long on silver here. Let's get back to it. Let's go to IREN. IREN is looking good. 37 was my, that's where I wanted to buy it. 33 is the 61.8. Apparently I didn't look at that before I set my 37 target. But that's 33.34 is the low that IREN has hit. So it's hit that fib. It hit that nicely. We're below the 5. So we'd like to, yeah, there's my line right there. We'd like to get above 41. We'll call it 20. We'd like to get above there. But here's a perfect example. See how spread this 50 was from this 200 when you were up here, when you were back here too? And then you start to close that. Now my projection is that we get a run in the markets at the first of the year. We'll see. We'll see if that comes true. But I think we get a big run, and then I think we get a rather big drop. But I don't think that's the drop that I'm waiting for. I think that drop comes more towards middle or the end of the year. We'll see. I think there's a massive drop coming, but not yet. So my upper target for IREN here is 49. And the lower is going to be your Bollinger here at 33. Let's keep that support. And that would make sense if we bounce around for a little bit longer. Or spike up and then, you know, I project this to spike up and then drop, but we'll see. We haven't broken out yet. On the hourly, it looked pretty good. We're below the 5 MA, but we broke out here. We're still above that. If I extend this, you'll see we probably retouch that. Came pretty close. Got our spike, so I'd like us to challenge this $40, $41. Try to break out of here. Let's see what we get today. IREN's, this is kind of no man's land for IREN here. But you are getting to where you're probably going to break out soon. I don't know when their next earnings are, but that would be my guess. But playing earnings is always risky. Okay. Cliff. I'm super bullish on Cliff. This is one of my top holdings. I bought more the other day. Cliff. Let's see, 13. Let's stay above 13. But 1260 as support. See how we have support right here. This big green candle. Then we took off from there. There's a gap here. Right at these other candles at 1320. I wonder if we close that gap and then move up. But this is a bottom for Cliff here. We've got to hold 980, 990, and I think we will. And I'm looking for Cliff to shoot up out of here. But I have patience. I got nothing but time with Cliff. I have leaps. Leaps are options longer than a year, and I have stock. Cliff is notorious for morning dips. See how it dipped in the morning, drop in the morning, drop in the morning. It's notorious for this. It just drops in the morning and then it'll rip back up. I think we're still good. I like Cliff. Yeah, you're not going to shake me out of Cliff at minus 2.5%. Your support for Cliff today is 1320. But overall, yeah. Want to hold that 1260. We can close the gap at 1320. That'd be awesome. And then back up. Morning drop down to 1320, close that gap, and then lift back up. I'd love Cliff to do that. All right, that's enough about Cliff. How about BBAR? Ooh, I don't know what that was. Argentina Bank. Love BBAR. Okay. Got a lot of arrows here. Sure, I was showing something. I have B-bar topping pretty close here. It had this island reversal, gapped up, shot up, created this island, and now we're moving out of it. We broke this downtrend line. I'd really like to see a spike into here, into 22, 23, maybe as high as 24 or 25, and then drop for the retest. This big candle, we should have kept going out of here. Yeah, I think we're building for a pop up and then the drop. Look how this 50 is shooting up towards this 200. Let's see if I can show an example where it's done that before. Yeah, here's going to be one. Oh, that went flat. Yeah, I expect us to cross over and really push this price up. Really just drive it up and then drop it. So yeah, I'm not willing to exit B-bar yet. Let's get it above the 20s. Yeah, I like B-bar to keep pushing up here. 50 stay above the 200. Yeah, I like B-bar into the 20s before we get a bigger drop. IPI, love IPI. This is where I would like to be. This is your soft commodities. This is fertilizer. That is beautiful. That is a thing of beauty. That's your bottom. You've got bullish divergence there on the daily. 1, 2, 1. I don't know if that's really. Yeah, we'll call that a 2 maybe. I think this is getting ready to start turning, start ripping. $29. Let's get above 30. Let's get back into the 30s. IPI. That's step one. Okay, this is going to be your major resistance, 29. You're going to need to fight that to get into the 30s. But overall, yeah, look at that weekly turning up. Overall, I am mega bullish on IPI. Super bullish. We're going back into the ones and then the twos. We're going back up here, boys and girls. It's just a matter of time. Just got to be patient. Look at that. Starting to lift. Look at that 50 wanting to get over that 200 on the weekly. This thing is just starting to get fired up. Just starting to have fun here. Yep. Really like IPI. Could get a drop here to 26. I would say probably 25 is going to, it might drop all the way to 25. But I would be a buyer of that for a long hold for IPI. Not to set it and come back in a while, unless you want to take profit at 40 or whatever. Yep, I like IPI. That's a good long hold for the next while. HNRG. Coal. Beautiful, beautiful, dirty coal. All right. You see my resistance line. This is what we want to break. Got the 50. Turning down. We're below the 5 MA. We already bounced off that lower Bollinger. I mean, we could hit it again at 1740. That'd be fine. I'm fine with that. Yeah, coal might be in a range here. It might be range bound for a while it works on breaking out of this. But I don't think so, because I think Cliff's going to take off. And if Cliff starts taking off, I think coal's going to go with it. I would say 2150, yeah. That's what we really need to get above. And I think this 200's going to push your price, eventually pop it through that. I think you're going to meander here, probably bounce down, up, down, and then you'll pop out of this eventually, I think. But yeah, HNRG looks to be about range bound for now, but it should stay above 1740, we'll say 1730. All right, NBIL. Oh, this is a long NBIS. Why do you guys do this? Okay. Okay, you had bearish divergence, so where's your peak? I don't think you've peaked yet. I think you've got another shot up in this. But I don't know when. But yeah, I don't think you've peaked. I think you've got another shot up. So you should break this high. Yeah, you're starting to point down. Yeah, then you broke that. So you'll probably break it again. You'll probably drop down here into the 60s, upper 60s before coming out of this. But I think you're going to get another high. No, that might not drop. This might pop. The market's so weird right now. Yeah, this might pop. See, I think the whole market wants to, it needs to drop, but I think it wants to run for a bit. That's why it's so weird. See, the easy button would be just drop this to the 200 and then, yeah, let's be on and ripping again. But I don't think it's going to give you the easy button. I think it's going to play around with you a while here. This is something that I'd be looking at to enter in the, mid to upper 60s. But in here, I wouldn't really do anything with it yet. Although it looks like it wants to pop up again. Weird. If it does, I still think it drops. Your resistance today would be about 94. And your support's going to be, I've already broken that. So you'd want to hold, you'd want to hold 84. Okay, Rocket Lab, RKLB. Again, this looks like it wants to go up today. You're below the 5. See, on the daily, this looks like it should drop to the mid Bollinger. See, once you break away from that upper Bollinger and break the 5, you're no longer squeezing. Although you did it here and held the 50, but look how far that 50 is now. You're holding this. I don't know if you guys can see this support here. This grouping. You're holding that range. So you could keep going up, which goes with my forecast. I think we bounce for the first of the year. I think it's strong too, because I think the market's overly shorted. So I think we get a strong bounce, and then I think we get a strong drop. But if you hold this support here in the upper 60s, 70s, you'll probably bounce to a new high. This is one of those with like ASTS, which I'm going to look at next. I think this gets 120 ASTS. I think these make new highs and then they come down. Oh, here I have 117. I just call it 120. See how this is below all those two? It's above the 50 though. See, this looks like it could come down again to about 60 and then go up. Or it could bounce here. The market is just in a weird place. I think it gets news, like my guess would be a Russia deal or something. Something gets the market to move. And I think it moves up. But it's not really sustainable. I just have that feeling. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla, how far did it get? 457. My drop, I had it down to 420. I like the number 420 with Tesla. That always seems to want to go to 420. Here's a big grouping of support, 440. Maybe that's where we hit 430s. But I think Tesla takes some steam out and then rallies again. ultimately, I think we get to 520 here on Tesla. Daily, again, your Bollingers are starting to pinch and you're hovering around that mid Bollinger. So my think would be that you'd get a drop 430 maybe, and then rip up, but we'll see. Got to get above 485. But yeah, I think Tesla goes down again before ultimately going higher. Tesla's the dragon. You got to be prepared for wild swings. It's just what it does. All right. Let's look at some uranium. Let's look at the hypers. LEU is looking the best, and why wouldn't it? See how the 50s below the 200 on all these? That's bearish. Every single one of them, just looking at them. Okay, let's go into some individual stocks. LITM. Snow Lake out of Australia, I believe. That looks like it's going to get a spike. And this is my thing with uranium. I don't think it's done dropping, but I think it's going to spike here. And I just, yeah, it's one of these weird, and this I do like long term. As long as we hold above 230. Yeah, it's just meandering. It's just meandering around. See, nothing about this would say buy. There's nothing here. Nothing. There's nothing on this that would say buy. This, I mean, if it gets down in here again, this is just one of those, I mean, it's uranium. You're holding it for the future. It's going to spike. It's going to be all over the place. This is a little uranium miner. You don't know if they're going to strike it rich or not. But I think all uranium is going to spike here for whatever reason. But I don't think it's done dropping. And this one in particular is going to, I think, churn sideways for a while, probably. Probably for a while before it bounces. But we'll see. I mean, I own this. When it drops below 3, I buy it. And I sit on my hands. I have no expectations of this. Do I think it could spike to $100 in 10 years? Yes, I do. But that's probably not going to be this week, you know? All right. Let's check out some others. Energy Fuels. This one was rocketing because it wants to get above 1660. or it at least wants to tag 1660. See how you're getting rejected here at this resistance? I think we're getting ready for another run, but I just don't know when and if it's going to be sustainable. Because the hourly looks great. I mean, this thing looks like it wants to go. But uranium overall doesn't. It's odd. Just like the rest of the market, it's all odd. That's why I'm only buying select stocks that are at bottoms. I'm not messing with anything in these mid ranges, which is almost everything. Oh, this looks great. UROY looks like it wants to pop again. Yeah, uranium looks like it wants to go for a little bit. SMR. My buy was under 20. I wanted it around this blue line here. We've dropped below my blue line, which is fine. That's fine. We can drop below the blue line. We shouldn't drop below 11. I don't think we get that deep. But I'm not worried about SMR. Are we getting a divergence at all? No, which is why I think we pop up in uranium and then drop again to give us our big divergence on dailies and weeklies even. I think we get a big run, I don't know, maybe 25, and then another drop, which goes with my feeling on the market. I think we get a big run and then a drop, big drop. Oh, this one's touching the 200, so I would expect a reaction here. See, nothing about this would be bullish. This, to me, says more downside, but you're probably going to get a reaction. Not really divergence there, but I mean, probably enough to get a shot up here to 82 or so. And then that is down. That has more downside. That's just down, 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 down. Whatever happens here, that has more downside. Same. Those are just ugly candles to nowhere. Downside. I don't care what happens here. Yeah, you can get a big spike and then you're going to drop again. But I'm not, well, I'll sell uranium, but I'm not going to get out of uranium long term. Not now. But it's in a precarious spot. It looks like it could spike, but it needs to go lower. It has another drop in it. All right, let's look at some lithium, AREC. American Resource. Oh, look, we got a buy signal off of Moo even. And I think lithium's going to turn up, which means lithium will probably drag uranium up with it because they're in a lot of the same ETFs, REMX. Yeah, see here we're above the 5. We're above the mid Bollinger. We've come off the bottom Bollinger. This looks good for a spike up to 320 for AREC. Again, I don't know if this is a real bottom. Oh, it sure could be. Sure looks like. Maybe. Yeah. I would say eventually this 50 needs to come back down here. So you might just be bouncing around in here for a while. Hard to tell, but I mean, this is bullish, definitely, for now. Yeah, definitely bullish for now. That's a good. Should spike out of here. Okay, ATLX, another lithium. $50 across the 200, spiking up. Haven't broken out yet, but you probably will if the other lithium's going to run. Yeah, I expect ATLX to run. Yeah, let's see what we get out of ATLX this week. LAC, Argentina, lithium. This does not look as good. That looks like more. You're holding this zone, but those Bollingers are pointing down. Why does LAC? That's going to pop up, though. Yeah, that's probably going to pop up. And then we'll see what we get out of this. The market's so bat-ass crazy right now because it's a fourth wave. Fourth waves are meant to confuse you and get you out. Fourth waves are when they rotate. That's when institutions rotate their holdings. That's why you get big spikes coming out of them because they want to sell off the end. Market makers need to fill their orders. So you get these huge spikes and then it'll crash out once they fill all the orders, once they sell them to retail. And this looks like it's ready to spike too. Excuse me. This RXRX never broke, made a new low here, but it's not it didn't break this low. And that's the one that matters. So this could be an A, B, C, and we could break out of this. That would be our hope. Because we need to hold this 379 and start building up out of this. This, I mean, this has a lot of work to do, and it has to stay above 379. I don't know what else to say about it. That's the only way to play this. Stay above 379. I don't know. Hope it goes up. All right, let's get into some of my retail. Let's look at Under Armour. Doing nicely. Almost at 5 this morning. Outstanding. This was my call out to the group in the low 4s. I think we get into the 6s. I think we close this gap here at 640. We're going to tag this trend line here. Oh, we're going to break above that trend line today. Outstanding. Let's do this, Under Armour. Okay, hourly. Oh, yeah. This is, you see my triangle here. This is where I was big time accumulating. I was buying like 100 contracts a day back in here. Okay. All right. Yeah, Under Armour looks fantastic. Doing just what we'd hoped it'd do. Coming out of here, we had the 5. We retraced, and now wave 3 time, people. Hold on to your hats. Let's get to 6. All right. Yeah, I like everything about Under Armour here. I wouldn't buy it because you're chasing, but I liked it at $4. Gap. Yeah. Gap frustrates me too. You and me both. We need to break out of this. And I thought we were going to do it here, and it fooled me. I thought we were going to do it because of this. Look at this guy. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. Abercrombie and Fitch. American Eagle. Unstoppable. See, those guys are unstoppable. But then you have Gap. That's just like, wah, wah, wah. I just have to believe that Gap's going to catch up with these others. And if you want to know, this is foreign, so it'll charge you to own it. But this is what I've been buying lately. Okay. Estee Lauder looks good too. I mean, these are... Retail's hot. I don't know why. CRCL Circle. That looks like it's trying to bottom. This is a fairly recent, huh? Oh, big spike, then big drop. You held that IPO low. 3. Oh, this is weird. I mean, you're in this. You see how you've dropped now, and you're in this consolidation at the bottoming here. I mean, this is a good chart. What do these people do? Financial technology company. Is this one of these digital currencies? Weird. Digital currencies. I think crypto pops here too. Jeez, all these charts are just no man's land. Well, except for the ones that were not. Yeah, you're just going to meander down here. You're going to turn sideways until you spike above that or get rejected off of it. And I have no idea which you're going to do. My guess would be spike, just because I think the market wants to run the first of the year. And then I think it wants to not crash. I think it wants to drop towards the end of January. But I think the first of the year it wants to really just shake and bake. But we'll see. Jeez. Yeah, these. I mean, you could take a stab at this and just set your stop right at 77.20. I'd wait to see this start to break out first, but that's just me. I don't know. That's just like everything else. It's just in a holding pattern here. WTI. This is oil. I hold WTI. Oil, I think, is going to spike, and then I think oil's going to drop. Yeah, imagine that. A spike and a drop. That's 5. Unless that's a ABC. No, because that's your 3. So that's your 5. This could be your low. Yeah, I think you have bullish divergence here. You do. So I think you're going to get a bounce out of here. Man, that would kind of make sense. Look at this trend line too that you broke out of, and now you're just hugging it. So I think, yeah, you probably rip out of here. I don't know why, but yeah, that would be my guess. That would be my guess, is that you start ripping out of here. Why would I think that? I don't know. I just have that feeling. Boy, that's getting rejected. It wants over it though. Check it out. Yeah, I think this eventually is going to shoot up and then drop. Let's see if a bigger boy feels the same. Let's see what Exxon thinks. Exxon wants to go up. I mean, it's going to have a pullback here, it looks like. Maybe down to 120. Maybe down to 120. Oh, yeah, that wants to go up. Exxon wants to go up. Oil wants to go up. Oil wants to go up. NOV, let's check that. This is a oil. Oh yeah, it wants to go back up to this trend line. Okay, all right. If NOV works, what is the king doing? Schlumberger. Oh, it's not called that anymore. It's called SLB now, isn't it? That's not nearly as bullish, but that sure looks like it wants to shoot up still. Okay. Let's look at futures right quick. Oh, I guess we don't need to look at futures because the market's running. We could just go here. Let's take a look at what Q's doing this morning. Drop. And this was the 5MA. It got, it was kind of going down here and it got rejected off of it. Let's see if we hold this support zone today. Huh. Another interesting day of the market bouncing around. Just weird. I would be stock specific. I wouldn't be in all kinds of different sectors. The market's really weird. But like I said, my feeling, let's see if I can shut this garbage off. There. My feeling, see how we're bouncing around this? My feeling is that we spike up out of this and we get a pretty good one. Maybe we get as high as 700. I could definitely see that. But I think we spike out of this and it probably looks like a spike retest and probably quick spike retest, then off to the races. And then I think we drop. And I think we either hold this, the 600 range, and move again towards 2016. That would be my base case. But yeah, I think we have a spike coming and then a drop at towards the end of the January. Weekly, we're still above. I mean, we're still moving up here. And actually, yeah, I think we need a spike with negative divergence. See, we have negative divergence here, but we could break that and the market could keep running. I'm bullish on 2026, but I also think there's going to be I think there's going to be a significant drop and I think there's going to be a crash. So yeah, take with that what you will. I think the significant drop is probably early in the year and the crash is later. And that's looking good. And that's looking good. That's looking good. Very little. All right. That'll be it for today then. Good luck, everybody. Be safe.